We are live. Hello, my name is Steve Jaguar. This is a Beer Native beer review. And because I had so much fun doing live reviews 24 and 24 days back in December, and I don't necessarily have to do them because I don't have surprise beers. I know what's coming. I decided I'm going to do a mix. I was going to do it Friday. I used to do it Fridays. Now I do them Thursdays. I thought about Thursdays, and then I realized, no, this is dry January. It's time for Hump Wednesday or Wet Wednesday. In dry January. Why not, right? Let's do that. So I'm going to be doing Wednesday live. Also because I have meetings with people in California, which are at 9 p.m. And there's like this gap in the middle where I could use some things to do. And this is a great idea. I could do some beer reviews, particularly during dry January. I'm only going to be generally doing beers that are, well, I make plans and then I don't stick to them. But today's beer, let's talk about that. This is a live review, and I'm going to be reviewing Striding Edge. Let's bring up this version of it. There we go. We can see it lurking in the background there as well, but it is there. And it is, so 2 days ago on Monday, at the beginning of the Dry January series, maybe it was Sunday, but a couple reviews ago, go check it out. I did Super Stretch. Super Stretch is the 0.5% dry version of Striding Edge, which is in short form, Stretch. Hence, it was a great way to draw a comparison. But for dry January, I thought, well, this is technically 2.8%. Are we still allowed to have that? Well, I'm in dryest January. So on Hump Wednesday, I'm going to introduce something to get you over the hump. And in this case, it's going to be Striding Edge Hazy Light IPA. Now, I know I've already done too much Northern Monk, and this is yet another. But what I won't do is get into Northern Monk as a brewery. If you want to see that, go check out Super Stretch and also educate yourself a little bit on the possibility of an IPA, which is 0.5% alcohol, quite elusive. But here, we're going to see its original cohort, the Striding Edge Hazy Light IPA at 2.8%. Okay, we can see roughly their light IPA inspired by one of the North's highest peaks. And it says piney, citrusy, and fresh for the believers. Now, this doesn't say directly on it what the hops are, although the Super Stretch did say Citra, Mosaic, and Cascade. So we get a general feel for that's going to be exactly what it says. Piney, citrusy, and fresh. Maybe a slightly different adjuncts or lactose or oats, perhaps, to give it a hazy, more East Coast feel. But, well, that remains to be seen. So let's bring it all back. Now, before I do that, I'm going to flip the doohickey on and say, hey, please subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I'm also going to say hi to Mercy Beers and Rockers Beer Review, who are in the chat right now. Thanks for joining a live. And this will be a regular thing, Wednesday live. Let me just write into the chat. Let me just do that. You can see me doing it. There you go. Hey, did I do it? There we go. Because it's so much more fun when there's actually people watching. Also, if you like geek tech, I worked out why my voice is, it turns out, 175 milliseconds ahead of my video. And I'm not going to get into why that is. It's to do with this camera that I chose, but I know how to fix it. I just got to work that out for next Wednesday. And then you won't be driven crazy like I am when I watch people where it's like watching a 1970s Kung Fu film. And it's like all out of whack, right? So let us get rid of the blurbomatic below me. And let's do, what didn't I do yet? Oh, it didn't do the basics. The basics, Steve. The basics. I forget that so many times. It's unbelievable, really, right? Crazy. So here we are. I have in my hand the Striding Edge that came with my Northern Monk pack from December. December was like a heavy duty month. It was like all Imperials. There's no way I was touching a 2.8. And plus, I was great to save for January. My glass is just here. It's a Baird's Malt 40th anniversary glass. And once again, I will check it's clean. You ever get a glass out of your dishwasher or your hand washer or whatever it is you wash your glasses with? It's a glass washer if you're in a pub. And it's not clean. I know they use a dirty glass in Westerns. I don't understand the point of that. I am not a tough guy. So, is it hazy? Let's start with that. It's going to be hazy because I touched the living crap out of this glass. So, it's hazy just from the number of fingerprints I've got on it. That's not cool. All right. I get enthusiastic. You know what's interesting is I'm not sure if I observed or criticized the Super Stretch because I said it was lemony in color and lemony in flavor, and that's not a million miles off. The similar level of lemoniness, but it is hazier. I didn't really look at the can details. Oh my goodness. That is volcanically citrusy. That's exciting. You ever smell a beer and you actually get like a Pavlovian reaction, right? Mouth starts watering and you think, whoa, I can't wait to jump into that. But I'm gonna hold off if possible and just look briefly at the can here and see do you get any additional insights that are going to say this is why it is hazy or this is why it is what? Oh, damp cellars? No, we don't care about that. Oh, the side has the actual ingredients on it. Oats. There we go. It's got oats in it. All right. We don't have to dig too much deeper than that. Oats. My friends, oats. All right. Here we go. Let's take a little swig. Okay. So the mouthfeel is, everything's bouncing. The mouthfeel is really light, like so much so that I didn't think I was thirsty, but I wanted to just I probably could have blown that back in record time. And at 2.8%, if I had enough of them, this could almost undermine the attempt at a light alcohol evening because you could probably polish off with several trips to the toilet, many of these. But it's nice. Let me just have another little go. Very citrusy, lemon right at the forefront. Almost overly light malt. Yeah, kind of a nice pine. It's interesting. So now that I've had them in reverse order. Now I've done Super Stretch first, which I guess is weird. That's probably less popular. But they're definitely related. So let's draw a parallel between Brewdog likes to do a thing where they say they've got hazy this and then OG hazy this, and then sometimes it's the old version of the new one and the new of the old, and they say double this or triple that and blah, blah, blah. And people love to criticize. I'm not going to get on a Brewdog thing. I think Brewdog do great things as much as they do weird things, as much as they seem to be style over substance, but sometimes they have substance. So plus and minus. But there's often very little connection between what they are looking to do in terms of creating relationships between some of the beers. The marketing does it, but the beers themselves don't. This definitely does. If you like Super Stretch, you're going to like Striding Edge and vice versa. Just different alcohol versions of the others. I would say this is an amped version of the Super Stretch. It doesn't taste quite as light as the other one. The alcohol is amplifying this. And what is interesting is, and maybe Mercy Beers knows this because he's the font of all knowledge, is there a full-on Striding Edge? Like, is there a full IPA? Because that would be a fascinating third version of this, because this definitely is a plus version of the other one. It seems exactly the same beer, just a little bit more boozy. That's cool. That's kind of what I was hoping for. All right, scoring up. I like this one actually artwork wise better than Super Stretch. Super Stretch, they darkened the vision of which I should show you, because if you probably, you guys watching live will know this one well, but for those of you watching after the fact, this is a much easier way to read the can as well. This is really quite cool, right? This art is great. But on the Super Stretch, they muted it all dark and you really couldn't see it. Whereas this is a really pretty sexy art, and I would buy the beer based on this art. There we go. Good old Canada of the North with Ben Barclay, fastest can slinger in the North. And you get all this extra. It's easier. It's readable. It's really quite cool. So I think there's something to be said for that. Don't just trash your effort you put into art just to create a different version of it. So I'm going to go to a good 4 on art, 3 on packaging with a 7 overall. Accuracy in terms of striding edge, hazy light IPA, yeah, totally nails it. So I really liked it. I'm going to go to 4. In terms of uniqueness, you know what? I'm going to give it a 4 on uniqueness because I don't know of a whole lot of, if I had to do a whole series of, well, I call this like a small beer. I think the industry kind of does that too. So, or table beer. Yes. Thank you, Mersey Beers. But yeah, that's a good point. So Scarfell is another good example. Now that which is the mountain is, I assume that's the mountain they're referring to. So I'd like to do that as a next in the series. Maybe I think I can acquire one of those from my local establishment if we weren't on lockdown, but maybe I could still do that. But it would be really good. So I'd love to try a full IPA version of that. Really delicious. So now I've lost track of my scoring. I had a 7. I'm going to give it an 8 and 8 for uniqueness and accuracy, which is a 15. And do I like it? Yeah, actually, I think for Hump Wednesday, this rocks my boat, man. So I'm going to give it I was at 15. I'm going to give it an 8. So 23. Yeah, just shy of a 4 out of 5 on Untapped. I might round it up to 4 on Untapped because people are generous on Untapped. So I can be too. There we go. That's the end. Hey, thank you, guests, for watching. There we go. There's Rocker's Beer Review. Scarfell is the big brother. I don't know for sure, but let's have a go at that. I'm going to go find one, and I'm reliably informed that I can get it at Tesco, and that means so can you if you're watching this in the future. So try and get all 3, taste for yourself, see what you think. And if you're watching in the future, throw a comment below with your yays or nays about whether you agree with what I've just said. So this has been a review of Striding Edge Hazy Light IPA at 2.8%. Theory is Citra, Mosaic, and Cascade hops. Very nice light beer. If I had to choose between this and Super Stretch, and I didn't really care that much about 0 alcohol or 0.5, I'd probably go with that. It's better. Just better enough to not care about the extra 2%. So there we go. I am going to sign off from here. Thank you, Mersey Beers. Thank you, Rockers Beer Review. If you're watching and you see the live comments just next to where you're watching it, which is the wrong way, it'll be just there. Go check out Rockers Beer Review, right? Other beer reviewers have other beers. So if you like this, you're going to like the other ones. That is all for me for today. I will see you live next Wednesday again, hopefully at 6 p.m. if all the things align. But keep checking out the channel. Somewhere around the same time, I'll be releasing some pre-recorded beers because I can do them during the workday because they're all alcohol free. And last minute, Steve Walsh just came in the live chat. Hey, I'm just closing off. Thanks for watching Beer Native Beer Review. My name's Steve Jaguar, and Steve out.